So you've got a vision. You see a lot that looks overlooked or overgrown in your neighborhood, and you know you can transform it into something great, but you're not quite sure where to start. But guess what? Here's what they don't actually tell you when you want to do this work. They don't always tell you that real estate development isn't a solo sport, it's a team sport. And the team you build in the early stages can either make or break your project. It could also make or break your future in this business. But first, hey, I'm Dominique Pryor Anderson with Dominique Anderson Consulting. I'm a bit of a passion pusher, and I help emerging developers like you to build mission driven real estate development projects. I have years of experience in community and real estate development consulting, and I am a super passionate community person, and I like to build thriving communities through development. I've helped a lot of developers, large and small, emerging and experienced, navigate the complexities of mission driven development project planning, financing, execution, and turning ambitious visions into thriving realities. So, welcome. If you're new, please subscribe, click the bell so you can get updates on when I drop this new knowledge. And, absolutely, if you love it, like and share. Comment good things, comment what you like, but, be nice. And so with that said, you might be a master at identifying opportunities or have a knack for design, but development requires a bit of a different, diverse skill set. You'll need financing, legal expertise, construction management, and so much more, right? But trying to handle it all yourself is a recipe for burnout, costly mistakes, and missed opportunities. That's why building the right team from the start is absolutely crucial. So, over the years, I've seen countless emerging developers succeed or stumble based on the strength of their initial team. You can't be a team of two, right? Like I have a lot of developers, emerging developers who refer to me or they call me and they say, hey, I need your help to help me build this thing. It can't be a team of two. I'm always going to start with who else is on your team and let's get them involved in the process, right? And then, one of the things I ran into early on with a consulting client was that they had friends who invested in their projects, right? And they had invested in other projects, they'd flipped properties. This is an absolutely different animal. Development is vastly different than investing in real estate development or flipping properties. And what's even more different is affordable housing or community mission driven development. It is not for the faint of heart and it's not get rich quick. And if your mission is to do this so that you can get money quickly, then you're in the wrong space. Um, so, with that said, make sure the team that you build has a similar mission. And so, there have been a lot of developers where they've had a team that was great, right? Or it wasn't. So let's break down, the first five key players I would say you need in your corner as you start building your real estate development business. And keep in mind, mission driven real estate development is my passion and what I help others build. Right. So the first five people you need on your team, first up, any business, you should always be looking for your attorney. A real estate attorney is not the same as a tax attorney, a trial attorney, or any other type of attorney, intellectual property. You need a real estate attorney. And doing mission driven development, you should probably have someone that understands that work. You should definitely have someone that understands that work, right? So, don't think about making a complex move or any move, quite frankly, without a good real estate attorney. They're your shield and your guide in this very complex world. They'll handle everything for you, right? From contract negotiations, whether that's land acquisition, or sales or financing. They'll also help you navigate zoning and land use regulations. Listen, pause. Zoning and land use regulations, they are worth their weight in gold when they help you navigate that process. If you ever hear a developer say, my project stalled, it stopped, it's for a couple of reasons. A, they ran out of money. B, they have community contention, and that leads to council contention, and they can't get around it. And then almost always C, it's a zoning or permitting delay. So if you have someone that can help you with the regulations, you'll move through that faster. They can also help you with title issues and due diligence. The land bank, for example, if you want to get a piece of property from the land bank and maybe that land bank doesn't clean the titles before they sell it to you for, some super small amount, you're going to need a good real estate attorney to help you walk through that. They can also help you with lease agreements, dispute resolution, and trust me, there's always a dispute, right? And so a good real estate attorney, excuse me, isn't an expense. Don't think of it as an expense. They're an investment. And I think if you follow anybody, if you listen to anybody, they're going to tell you that you need to think about all these things as investments and not expenses, right? But they'll protect you from costly mistakes and set the foundation for sound deals. All right, so that's your first one, your real estate attorney. Your second one that I would say look at quickly, early, and often are your lender finance partner, right? And so, unless you're sitting on a mountain of cash, I don't know about you, but I'm not sitting on a mountain of it. You'll need funding. Building relationships with, the right financial partner is essential. This could be a bank, whether it's a local, regional, or national bank. It could be private lenders. It could be hard money lenders. Not always my first suggestion, but depending on the project, maybe that's where you go. A joint venture partner, right? Someone who says, "I'll put in this, you put in this. We get where we need, and then I expect this much back in return for what I put in." But know that your finance partner will provide the capital to get your project off the ground. And they'll also want to see a solid business plan, and they'll assess your project's feasibility. So it be smart is when you go in with your business plan, you also have a feasibility study, even if it's just a rough one done that you've done kind of locally, to prove. What does that mean? That means that they want to know, if I give you this money, can this project actually happen? What's going to be the delays, and when can I get my money back? Right? So, and I won't go too deep down the rabbit hole of public-private partnerships, but there are a lot of municipalities, your city, your local area, that has money for building the good work, from affordable housing to other community improving projects. So, always look for that money as well. We'll do a whole nother piece, or I may have already done one on public-private partnerships. Whatever the case is, as you're looking for that lender or finance partner, shop around. Compare the terms, find a lender who understands your vision and is willing to work with emerging developers, and is willing to work in this mission-driven development space. Look for someone who's as invested in the success of your project as you are. So again, those public-private partnerships, you're connecting with maybe you're for-profit, you connect with a nonprofit that's driving a need. You're there to develop what they need. If it's homeless mission, or veterans, or youth aging out of foster care, right? There's a lot of opportunity. University housing, there's a lot of opportunity to build the good work, right? Do the good work and build the good things. All right, so you've now thought about your real estate attorney and your funding. What about your general contractor? Right? The third one I would say is a really reliable general contractor, or GC. This is the team that that GC should bring a team that will actually build your vision. They're going to manage the construction process, hire and supervise subcontractors, oversee the budget and the schedule, ensure quality and safety. A really good GC is worth their weight in gold. They should be organized, communicative, and have a proven track record of delivering projects on time and within budget. So you may say, well, what if I know a emerging GC? Everybody has to start somewhere. You're an emerging developer or a small scale developer. Everybody has to start somewhere. You just make sure that they understand the full process and they're prepared to do the work that you need, and they share your vision and your mission. Right? So don't just go with the lowest bidder either. Don't go with your friends just because they're, hooking you up, or you know them and you trust them, but are they really ready to do the work? Because you don't want to lose a friend in this business, and that can also happen often. So choose someone that you trust, check references, review their past projects, And then, know that they can handle all the complexities of your development. Right? So, real estate attorney, lender, funder, GC. Next, I would add an architect or a designer. So, your fourth one's your architect or your designer. This is the creative force that's going to bring the aesthetic to your project, right? The aesthetic and the functionality to life. So, they're going to draw it, they're going to make it real, make it a vision, right? And they're going to develop the plans and drawings, ensure that you know the design meets building codes and regulations. They're going to get the permits that you need. They're going to collaborate. They should collaborate well with the GC and other consultants. A good architect is going to understand your vision, maximize the potential of your site, and create a design that is both beautiful and functional, right? Find an architect whose style aligns with your project goals. Again, think through mission-driven development. So think about somebody who's able to really lean into the community style. How do we not create something that's tall and skinny, or a big box that's just a big white box that's not going to fit in with the community? We want to make sure that we're adding, not subtracting or dividing the community. And so, really think about project goals. Also think about, in your project goals, do you want to do mixed use, multifamily, residential? So there's different architects that have different specialties there as well. And then probably should be number one, but I listed as now, I'll say it as number 5, but your mentor or an advisor. People often jump into this work, they jump into all kinds of work without a mentor or an advisor. And this is someone who's been where you are, who has experience navigating the challenges of a real estate development project, who can provide guidance and support. And they can also help you avoid a lot of the common pitfalls. They can help you make strategic decisions, help you expand your network. Listen, a really good mentor and advisor is not going to only be a mentor or an advisor, but also they're going to be the person who speaks your name in rooms that you aren't in, or have never been in, or should be in. Maybe they're there and they're going to speak your name. That's who you need in your corner, right? They're going to provide emotional support during the irrevocable, right? The unavoidable ups and downs of this work. This could be an experienced developer, a retired professional, or someone from a local development organization. So I'll give you 3 right off the top. Crew, which may be, maybe some people love Crew, maybe they don't. That's the Construction Real Estate Women, CREW, Crew. It's an organization for women who are in the commercial real estate industry, and they are programming. It's a membership organization, and I use them. I list them because it's, if you're a woman and you want to be in this space, this is a good organization to be in. Number 2 would be, and they're not in any specific order, just kind of what pops in my brain. Urban Land Institute, ULI. I owe everything in my career, honestly, to the experiences that I've had, but also to building my network, being on committees, being a part of programming. ULI is an international, it's a global organization that houses the people who build everything, right? From commercial, residential, they are the sustainable experts, they're, affordable housing, they're all the thought leaders in this space, right? So it's a networking organization. You can network, there's lots of programming, there's opportunities to lead and learn. And so I'm incredibly passionate about ULI. Comparably in Dallas specific, Dallas and Fort Worth, the Real Estate Council, or TREC, is another organization similar to membership organization, similar to ULI, focused on the commercial real estate industry. And that's a incredibly powerful organization local to Dallas. And then your city, state, town, municipality has other organizations that are local to you, right? TREC is a lot of people kind of compare it to ULI and say that it has a lot of the power locally. It does have a great voice. And one of the things that Trek can do that ULI doesn't is public policy and advocacy, right? It's just written in their bylaws that they can do that and ULI can't. So, I would say get connected because your network is your what? Your net worth, right? And so your mentor advisor is also going to provide that emotional support. And, you want to seek out someone who is willing to share their knowledge and be a sounding board for your ideas, right? So their experience is invaluable. So you want to be able to give and get, right? That's important. So to recap, as you're building this master team of individuals to do this work, you're going to have your real estate attorney, your lender or finance partner, your general contractor or GC, your architect or designer, and your mentor or your advisor. Building a strong team from the beginning will set you up for success, minimize your risk, and allow you to focus on your strengths as a developer. So building a successful real estate development business is a journey, but you don't have to do it alone, right? So I have a proven track record of guiding emerging developers through complex projects and deep understanding of community-centered development. I'm here to help you not just build buildings, but legacies, right? Because we're mission-driven developers and we're building legacies. Uh, my school community, so I have a community at school, SKOOL, school.com. It's called From Neighbor to Developer, From Neighbor to Developer on School, SKOOL. It's a free community. Come meet other people like yourself who are starting in this work, who are passionate about this work. Share ideas. We have calls that we do, and there's some other great services. My school community, the open community, is free. I offer other resources for consulting and coaching. I have a VIP day that's just one day that I give you, and we walk through your business and your projects. And I just want us to build something great together. So, with that, as always, I will say adios.